things about myself that I don't often share, but I want to be transparent. Let me shift this stuff around here really quick. I suffer from anxiety, and usually a good indicator of my anxiety level is actually my nails. So if you can see right now, I currently have long painted nails. And that means I'm doing all right. Because one of the things that I do when I'm anxious or I'm really stressed out is I sit and pick. And recently when I went to the dentist, I found out that I didn't realize this, I clench my jaw and sometimes I grind my teeth when I'm working my work day. They thought I was doing it at night, but they realized it's my stress. And so when I'm sitting there, I sit with a clenched jaw, and so I'm having some pain, and I'm trying to make myself more aware and relax when I'm feeling like that. As for depression, I'm generally a pretty happy person most of the time, and I'm pretty even keeled. But this past year I went through some serious work struggles, and it set me off, and I hit depression. In fact, it was so bad that some days I struggled to get out of bed. For those of you that don't know what I do, I work in homeless services. I was homeless myself, and when I got out of that, I created Caridad, which is a homeless agency, and we had a contract for service with the city of Las Vegas until recently. And about a year ago, December, I saw a shift in the city, and I saw them sort of pulling away from their regional collaborative effort. And they created a separate outreach team to help the homeless, and this team's goal was to offer assistance within the city, but then they also worked with the Metro and the Marshals, so if people didn't take that assistance, they would give out tickets or take people to jail. So I was getting these little dribs and drabs of things, and then regionally I also saw Metro pull out of our regional coordinated efforts, because I was the federal lead for our outreach team. So for the past 4 years in this community, I've been kind of air traffic control for all the homeless service agencies that have street outreach teams, including Metro, and we all worked really nicely together. So all of a sudden I'm seeing this split and this pull away, and I'm hearing these little dribs and drabs from my partnering homeless agencies that are telling me bad things are happening. Another thing that you should note is that in southern Nevada, our shelters let out every morning, and there's only one shelter that you can keep your bed for a week, but even that you can't stay in the daytime. So about 6 a.m. the shelters let out every morning. And what was happening, or the message that I was getting that I had to go check out for myself to see, is around the shelters at about 6:05 to 6:10, call it, the city of Las Vegas outreach team was going out with the marshals, with Metro, and they're making the announcement, get off the sidewalk or else you will get arrested and your things will get thrown away. Then, call it 6:15 to 6:20, the city would come through with their cleanup teams, and they would spray a bleach and a water solution on the sidewalks, but if people were still there, or they were still gathering their things, they would spray the homeless, and they would spray their things with this bleach and water solution. Then, if the homeless, rightfully so, would get upset and go to run away, then they would get cited with a jaywalking ticket. And if they got mad and they tried to fight it, they would get hauled off to jail. So this is not good to spray people with bleach and water. But even worse than that, what was happening is because these people are getting multiple jaywalking tickets, they can't afford to pay them. The federal regulations say that if someone is in jail beyond 45 days, they're no longer homeless. So it was making it so we couldn't house the homeless. And the people on the City of Las Vegas outreach team are from multiple agencies that get federal dollars for funding. And part of our rule and our agreement as a community, if we get federal dollars to help end homelessness, we can't have a separate housing list outside of the regional collaborative. And so what also was happening is that this outreach team was housing people separately with city money aside from the housing list that we had as a community. So we were at risk last year of losing all of our federal dollars in this community for ending homelessness. And if you are not familiar with homeless services in Southern Nevada, about 85% of our agencies rely on federal funds. So that basically would have wiped out all homeless services in Southern Nevada. And also, if you don't know anything about Southern Nevada, we're number 5 in the country for homeless population. So we have a huge homeless problem here, and it would have pretty much eliminated our services. And even worse, it just kept getting worse, those sweeps that the police and the city were doing, it was violating the homeless's 4th and 14th Amendment rights. Anything in the public right-of-way, if it is your property, you're supposed to be given 48 hours notice if it's going to be disposed of. So people were losing all their worldly possessions, their birth certificates, their IDs, their housing documents, and we couldn't house them. And I lived in San Diego before this, and in San Diego, the ACLU took the city and the police to court, and they won the lawsuit against them. It's the same federal court district. So I begged and I pleaded and I cried and I met privately with leadership from the city and from Metro, and I said, please stop this, please come back to the table, let's all work together. How did we get here? And it fell on deaf ears, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. So last year, April 17th, I staged a peaceful protest. I told city officials I would be doing this. I said, if you don't do this, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I never want to surprise anybody. Staged a peaceful protest. Some of the downtown faith family showed up with me. And we had all 3 local TV stations that came. And the ACLU showed up. And the chief legal counsel for the ACLU showed up, which was a pretty big deal. And it was same, you're going to get arrested, get off the sidewalk or else. And as soon as they rolled around the corner and they saw all the news crews and they saw the ACLU, lo and behold, they didn't need to clean the streets that day, and there was nothing to be done. They turned around and they went away. But more importantly, it sent a message. And so what I said publicly that day, and what I said in an open letter on my social media, was we, and I put myself in this category, we as homeless service providers have failed when the city and the police have to do our housing in the jails. So what can we do, community? We need more housing. And our signs that day said housing, not handcuffs. So that was my message. I was very clear about it. But then shortly thereafter, all the providers that had come to me privately and told me, this is horrible, we need to make this stop, they quit talking to me. In the city, we had a 5-year contract. Cut our contract 1 year in on a 5-year contract. And nobody would talk to me because they didn't want their funds cut and because they didn't want to be associated with me. And the business owners thought I was losing my mind because I was telling them all this, but I was very animated. So I said, you're having a breakdown, you need to take a break, because publicly, all the rest of the agencies were silent. And then I had one provider tell me, quit poking the bear. I had another director at another agency tell me, yeah, I support causes in my private time, but I'm a director now, and I have to get board approval, so you gotta understand, I can't publicly stand by you. And other people just said, I'm afraid I'm gonna get fired if I associate with you. And I even had one provider that screenshotted my texts and sent them to people in the city. I felt like I could trust no one. And then in June, retroactively, the city of Las Vegas terminated our contract and refusing to pay us for previous months of services that we delivered. And so I had to get an attorney, and I had to finally settle out of court in November. But something that hit me, and I didn't realize it, was that I had PTSD from when I had been homeless. Didn't even know that I had that I suffered from that. And so all this stuff, when I felt like my world collapsed, it triggered that. And before I knew it, I was a mess. I was crying every day, I was falling apart, I was waking up in cold sweats, with my heart racing. And even like I said, there were days that I just couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't wake up. I just slept. I didn't want to wake up, quite frankly. And I saw people slipping away because I just couldn't reach them. I didn't want to reach out. I withdrew from my friends, I withdrew from my downtown faith family, from my girls' dinner crew. Some of you know about them, they're my lifeblood, my neighbors, and even my husband. I had slipped into clinical depression. I'm going to read today out of Proverbs 25. Oops, I forgot to skip, sorry there. Sorry guys, hold on. These are my, I forgot I have slides, I got this one in my story. This is actually our protest. There's Pastor Jeremy, you can see our signs, and then there's my little comparison, $20,000 to house somebody in Las Vegas versus $50,000 of jail stay is what it costs. So it's costing a lot of money to do this. This is what I wore that day. I wore Jesus Was Homeless, my shirt when I protested, which I was happy then. It suddenly changed. But Proverbs 25:19 through 25. This is verse 19. Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Oop, that wasn't planned. But that's a thing that happens, right? And it's saying that a treacherous person is as bad as a busted foot or a bad tooth. How many of you talk to friends when you have a problem or an issue? Most of us, yeah. I do too. But sometimes that might not always be the best, or we might go to the wrong person and get not such great advice. Like the girl in the video, when I was going through what I was going through, I felt like God wasn't listening, and I felt like prayer wasn't working. So I called my therapist. I said, I am not okay, and I need some professional help. And beyond that, God reminded me that I have a wonderful girlfriend in my life that is a strong Christian and has been through this about 15 to 20 years prior than me, and she stepped up and we did weekly calls. So between my weekly therapist and her, that was good advice. I sought that wise counsel when I was going through those dark days of how to navigate the landmines. Verse 20. Whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day and like vinegar on soda. You got this. You are strong. You're one of the strongest women I know. I know you can do this. You'll be fine. This will pass. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Those are all the things that people said to me to try to cheer me up and to get me out of my funk when I wasn't being myself. And though well-intentioned, they cut me deep. And I literally remember screaming and crying to my husband when I was on the floor one night. And I said, I am drowning, and people are telling me, good luck, you got this. And I want to punch him in the face. But then I feel guilty for even having those thoughts. Church and community, we want to fix people. Our natural reaction is we want to hurry and make people happy. Like, here, let me make you laugh and you'll feel better. But depression and anxiety happens. We are humans. Those are real emotions. And sometimes we feel them. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And we need to fight that. Because in this verse, it says, whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day. I am cold right now, and you better believe I'm not going to take off my coat when it is even colder than this. That doesn't even make sense. And have you guys ever done the experiment in science when you're a kid where you pour either vinegar on the baking soda or baking soda on the vinegar? What happens? It explodes, right? Well, guess what? That's what it's saying in this verse. When you try to quick fix or cheer people up, it hurts. Really well intentions, but it really, really hurts because you can't snap out of that. So what can we do? I just recently had a friend tell me he was going to go fly out to visit a relative who was having deep depression. He said, I can't wait. I'm going to take her out. I'm going to make her happy again. I'm going to get her out of that, and we'll just laugh, and it'll be good. And I said, that's a horrible idea. You shouldn't do that. Yes, go be with her, but don't do that. I feel like sometimes we come in here in church, and not just in here, in churches, and we put on that facade, that happy facade, that everything's okay. We might have a little small talk, whatever, but we can't wait to run out of the door so we don't have to have those real discussions and let people know how we're really feeling. Or even worse, we let people know how we're feeling, and the people around us try to get us a quick fix out of that. Let me make you happy, and let me make you feel this way again, and make you smile, because I'm not comfortable with what's going on with you. It's okay to not be okay, church. It's okay to let people not be okay. But the best thing that we can do is sit next to them and say, I hear you, I see you, and I'm not leaving you, I am here with you. I watched an interview with Martha Stewart recently, and the interviewee was talking about her stint in jail. And he said, whatever kills you makes you stronger, right? And I can't say some of this, so I bleeped out Ms. Martha on her quote. But it says, and everybody tells you, oh, whatever happens to you will make you stronger. Well, bleep them. It's so mean that it's the stupidest thing. It doesn't make you better at all. It could ruin you. Sometimes we aren't strong on our own. And that's what she went on to say. She said, sometimes You just aren't strong. It's okay to not be okay. In church, we need to fight giving people cliches when they're not okay and when they're in that season of depression. And it's okay for those of you that are in that season of depression or anxiety to say, I'm not okay. And sometimes the trials don't end as fast as we'd like, and we might stay there longer. But it's okay, and the biggest thing that we need to do, church, is to remind each other that we've got each other and that we've got our faith. And even though it's tough, we'll make it through. Proverbs 25:21-22. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. This is really similar to a passage in Romans 12:20. The message is the same though. Love. We are called to love everyone at all times. Oftentimes, and this was my case with the city, people were the source of my anxiety, and loving on them was a hard thing. When I was homeless, I go back to that time, because until the time with the city, I thought that was the worst time of my life. I prayed that God would help me to love on the people that caused me to be homeless and that were, at that moment, oppressing me. That was one of the hardest things for me to do throughout that year of homelessness, was to just keep loving on all the people that kept hurting me. But it was really the only thing that kept me from not being eaten up alive by that just anger and rage that I could have had towards them. And it's crazy now, looking back, I see some of the things that have happened to those people that were horrible to me. And although I would never wish anything on them, I can tell you guys after, if you want to know what happened to them, but a lot of them have really horrible things, like years down the road happened to them, and I'm like, oh, you were not a good person, and I knew you weren't. But I look at how, even though it was horrible, and even though what I went through both times, God has had me. And by just loving, sometimes it just helped me release some of that so it wasn't that much worse for me. So that is all we're called to do. He just wants us to love, and even though we can't always see him, or we can't always feel him in those times of depression and anxiety, he's got us, and he's got us in his arms. It's okay to not be okay. Proverbs 25:23. The north wind brings forth rain, and a backbiting tongue, angry looks. This is actually pretty straightforward, and it is, I know what you probably think it is. Don't talk trash on people. Don't talk trash. This last year, that was really hard for me, and I had press wanting to work with me and get the dirt, but it was important for me to keep loving even though it hurt. In the church, it can even be like we sneak in and we're trying to gossip because we're praying for somebody. Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? But it's important to not do that. It's important that we love with our words and that we reach out to people if we see them hurting, to lift them up. Careful with your sarcasm. I always tell people this, especially where I work, I train my staff. What's funny to you might not be funny to that person that you're delivering that joke or that sarcasm to, and you don't know where their headspace is at that day. And it would be horrible if somebody is already on the edge that you push them over the cliff. So be really, really careful too with the sarcasm in your day-to-day. Proverbs 25:24. It is better to live in the corner of a housetop than a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. This is really extreme. It's better to live on the corner of your roof and be alone than to be in a house with a fighting spouse. There's probably been times when my husband wishes that he lived in the corner of the rooftop than to be in it with me. He's raising his hand. But what this is, it's an intentional extreme that the author is using, and it's talking about single life. Sometimes single life can be a cause of depression and anxiety, and I know I've seen some of my single friends, certain holidays are triggers, like Valentine's Day and Christmas, and I see their posts like, oh, wish I had somebody, or just kind of, little memes about being alone, but I know that they're hurting. But this is saying, it's okay. It's better to be alone and be single than to be in chaos and dysfunction. So embrace that solitude. That's also a good thing. And even though you might be down or depressed on that, God is still with you in your singleness, and it's okay to not be okay, but God has you. Proverbs 25:25. Like cold water to a thirsty soul So is good news from a far country. We are more connected than ever. It's interesting, when I came in, we were talking about how I was calmer, and what I did this time versus when I normally speak, I actually put my phone on airplane mode last night and this morning, and just listened to my jams, and I came in and I could feel the sense of calmness, and it was just so much better this morning. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America says that researchers have found that using social media obsessively causes more than just anxiety. In fact, the tests show that using too much internet causes depression, ADHD, impulsive disorder, problems with mental functioning, paranoia, and loneliness. I turn off my phone, like I said, one day a week. I hit the airplane mode button, and I don't bother. I've been trying to get better about after 8 o'clock. I don't look at it, but just to clear my headspace so I sleep better. But the phone can be used for good, too. So what can we do as a community to use our phones for good? A simple text. A simple, hey, how's it going? A simple, hey, I'm thinking of you today. Or, hey, I just prayed for you. I do that one sometimes. Even people that I have on my Facebook that are overseas, I write to them on my little Facebook, like, hey, thinking of you, hope all is well. And this past year when I was in that horrible depression and anxiety, sometimes I didn't have strength, but I would wake up and I would just start texting people, like, I love you, I'm thinking of you, I'm thankful for you, friend. And it was amazing how just loving on people got me outside of my headspace and got my mood lifted a little bit. I was just doing it to love on people, but loving on people, you'd be surprised what it can do to your mental health. Will we always be happy people? Will we always live a worry-free life? I'm good this week because my nails are long, but next week might be another story, or so it might be another story, right? We're all humans. We may suffer from depression or anxiety. Some days may be worse than others. It's okay, church, to not be okay. I suffer anxiety a lot. This past year, depression knocked me out. But what happened was when I finally said, I am not okay, I need help. My downtown faith family, my girls' dinner, my neighbors, my husband, and more importantly, my therapist were there for me. And they didn't give me a quick fix. They didn't try to quick make me happy. They just said, we hear you, we see you, and we are living life with you. We will not leave you. And that was what I needed, and that was what helped me get out of depression. That and my faith. It was that love that I felt. It wasn't a quick fix. They didn't tell me jokes or try to get me to go do fun stuff. It was walking and loving and living life with me. We're in a community. So this is my challenge to all of you. Some of us are not going to be okay sometimes. Some of us are going to need to be propped up because, like Martha Stewart said, we just don't have the strength sometimes. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. But what I need you to do, if you're going to be in this community and we're going to live life and we're going to be transparent, I need you to let us know. Because how I withdrew and nobody knew I was hurting, they couldn't help me. They couldn't be there for me. We can't be there for you, and we can't love on you if you don't know, if you don't tell us that you're hurting. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, I want you to know it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. People online too. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to be a Christian and not feel okay. That's okay too. And church and community, what we need to do with those people is we need to love on them, and we need to hold their hand, and we need to sit with them. And if they cry, don't try to make them laugh. Say, I hear you, and what you're feeling is real. And although I can't fix you, I'm not going to leave you. I love you, and I'm here living life with you. Jesus called us not to fix one another. He didn't say fixing is the greatest command. Jesus said, love.